feel like the spark is gone or you need to break up, this is for you. I want you to try something that changed the game for me and so many of my clients. I want you to zoom out of your life like you are in The Sims. Now, if you're an 80s baby, you'll know this well. It was my favorite video game. It's a simulation video game where players create and control virtual people known as The Sims. You build and manage their lives, including homes, relationships, and careers. I want you to zoom out of your home for a second and imagine it's a Sims room. I want you to let your whole day play out in front of you. I want you to watch yourself going from the kitchen to the bathroom, to your commute to work or your commute to your office, into the garden, whatever your day and however your day plays out. And I want you to tell me the percentage of connection you experience to others in that day. Now, some people have told me 2%, some have said 10%, and some partners have had more. When you truly ask yourself how much connection you experience in that day, I want you to say it out loud or write it down. Now, when I say connection, that can be physical touch, conversation, intimacy. Really, it's just seeing the other people who are surrounding you. Or perhaps if you live alone, it's real connection with yourself. Now, whatever that number is, I want you to imagine you increase it by 5%, 10%, more if you can. What would that look like? For most of us, we're currently surviving through a loneliness pandemic. And so for the past 2 years, I've been sharing a Tell Me a Secret text box on my Instagram every week. Whenever I share it, I can always guarantee that the top secret will be I'm lonely, followed by there's no spark, me and my partner have no intimacy, we're in the roommate phase, and of course, we need to break up. Now, if any of these hit home to you, I want you to know you're not alone. In a world that prides itself on being connected, now more than ever, we are just simply disconnected. We go from working on one screen to scrolling on a smaller one, to then turning to the big screen as a treat at the end of the day. And none of this creates connection, which is why I and so many of us feel lonely in the places we once felt connected, and why we're all wondering why our relationships have lost their spark. This can be friends and family as well. Now, relationships are not easy, but what if we prioritize them like we do brushing our teeth or working out? Which is going to take some reminding, and perhaps it'll become the new wellness craze. But this phrase lives in my head rent-free. When your children have grown or your career has finished, what do you want to have left? And personally, I would like to have a relationship left. I'd like to be with the person I fell in love with and we get the chance to explore the world or do whatever feels good. But the way so many of us are going, we won't have relationships left when our kids have grown or when our careers have finished. So what if instead of going from big screen to little screen, you went for a walk or had a spontaneous picnic, or you played cards after dinner and tried to paint each other badly? What if you doodled tattoos on each other, or finally completed that puzzle? What would 100% look like to you and to your partner? Zoom out of the times you spend with them. Where is that connection dropping, and where could you change the story? Now, when you finish watching this, I would love you to share it with someone who you want to connect with more and find out their number. That's my dog snoring. I'd also love you to do this one thing. I want you to ask your friends, your family, or perhaps your partner what their definition of love is, or of a happy relationship is, or of a happy friendship or a happy family is. Because we all have our ideas, and whether that's from what we grew up with or what we watched on TV or what we read about or we saw on social media, if we know what we think love is and our partner knows what we think love is, you can come together to create your own version that sits well for both. So perhaps you're living in Disney fairy tale world or Pretty Woman or anything at all. If we all know what each other's definition is of connection, we can help it. It's a little bit like love languages. So if it feels like your relationship has lost its spark, or perhaps you have lost your spark and you're sitting there feeling like you need to break up, or perhaps break up with friends, or even step away from family, that may be true, but I would first recommend you take a look at where your connection lies. And if the majority of your connection is coming through disconnect, then prioritize making that effort to really see the people that you're with, to really allow yourselves to switch off from what is happening in the world and zoom in on what is happening in your own little world. Go back to the basics and find the pleasure in life's small, mundane moments, because that truthfully is where contentment comes from. And being present and content in your day is where the enjoyment of life comes from. So, just remember, when everything feels disconnected, be like The Sims and zoom out. Trust me, your bigger picture is worth saving.